Hey everyone, welcome back to Go Kick Me, your favorite crowdfunding news and reviews channel here on YouTube. So today we have it's actually both a Kickstarter and an IndieGoGo project, and they've actually both completed. So this is an in-demand product. In other words, it already did the crowdfunding thing, delivered, and because it's done so well, as you can see by the numbers here, you can continue to buy it, actually, just as sort of like e-commerce. So you're not backing a project, you are buying the product that was in the original campaign. So somehow they connect to, like, I don't know exactly how Kickstarter and Indiegogo collaborate on this, but literally, like, all the things are no longer available because they've expired, because the thing is already delivered. But instead you can click on the Get Yours button, which actually just takes you to the Indiegogo In Demand page. And so here you can actually still buy it, even though there are, no deadlines on these, I guess. There's no early birds and late birds because it's already out. And so there's no limit on these. You can just keep buying them. And so for these, basically if you buy it now, you get it in May 2018, which is hypothetically like, as I'm filming this in about 4 days, sometime in the next month, basically. So that's because the product's already out. So anyway, let's talk about this thing first. So this is a app-controlled paper airplane with tricks. Loop, flip, and barrel roll with tiny smart paper planes designed to do a variety of mind-blowing aerobatics. This is by a guy named Shai Goteen, and actually this has one of the best videos I've seen for a Kickstarter. I actually was asked the other day, like, what makes a good project video, whatever, campaign video, and you want to hit all the buttons, you want to, like, tick all the boxes, the background of the people, what the product does, what makes it interesting, yada, 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 and you want to do it in a professional way, but you don't want it to be too slick. Like, you don't want it to be Sonic Soak where they pay voice actors to just bullshit stuff, make up some fake origin story. In this case, they do a really, really good job. So let's just, enough of me talking, let's play it.
There are two verbs that describe what a plane does. There's flying, and there's flying. Meet Powerup Dart, a paper airplane that's not just flying, it's flying. This is Shai, a pilot, and
so of course, when you want to establish your credibility, you have to introduce the founder, have it be a real person, have him show that he's, not some faceless corporation or some shady business dude. So they're doing a really good job with this one, as you see.
industrial designer and inventor. Shai loves everything airborne. 4 years ago, he was challenged by a friend to create a smartphone-controlled paper airplane. Shai accepted the challenge and created Powerup 3. The first ever smartphone-controlled paper airplane. Then 2 years ago, that same friend challenged him to put a camera on the plane. So Shai created Powerup FPV, the first ever smartphone-controlled paper airplane with a streaming camera. Shai's friend looked at those creations and said, "Cool, but you can't make a paper plane that can do a loop and a barrel roll and then stall turn." Then Shai stopped his friend before he hyperventilated and said, "Challenge accepted."
Okay, so you guys may remember I totally trashed this one, what was it? It was an impedance band, fitness band that could measure your body fat, because the guy who was the creator, who was a Russian dude, like lip-synced his video with, basically somebody voiced over his voice, and in a totally phony way, because they tried to pass it off like it was really him. This is a much better way of doing it. Like, you have the narrator basically doing voiceover for the guy, and the lips match, but you don't feel like you're being deceived because you know it's the narrator talking. And they throw some humor in there, and, the guy's going to be, he's hyperventilating.
Now,
I guess he's got asthma or something. That's really funny. Anyway.
After a year of prototyping and testing, it's here. Powerup Dart, the first ever smartphone-controlled paper airplane that can do aerobatics. Yes, other planes can fly, but they can't loop or barrel roll or fly vertically. Dart can. It is incredible. And
so the video is quite impressive, and it looks like, pretty simple. Like literally, it's a paper airplane with a small Bluetooth receiver and a motor. And
it is small. Just take a piece of paper, fold it into a plane, attach the module, download the app, and tell your friends G-Force got nothing on you. You're an aerobatics pilot now. Powerup Dart gets its incredible aerobatic capability from the high thrust to weight ratio,
and so this little rudder here actually steers. So it's actually pretty impressive. It basically has one, I guess because the flaps are permanently up, it basically has 1 degree of freedom. And so you can do pretty, and I guess you can also vector the thrust, or not vector, you're vectoring the thrust plus you're actually adjusting the thrust. So you sort of have 2 degrees of freedom absolutely on the whole thing, but you can actually make it fly.
Unique shape of the plane. Despite being so incredible, flying the Dart is easy and intuitive. Move the phone to any direction and the wings will follow.
So the question is, if you're just twisting the phone like that, is that giving you really fine touch, or is it like a on-off, left-right kind of? Basically, it seems like it, especially because the phone is not, it's just the long way of the phone. Anyway, so I wouldn't expect too much fine tuning out of this, like to get it, super like this. But for doing aeronautics and acrobatics, whatever, it's probably pretty good enough, right? As you can see. One thing I should note is in most of these videos, when they show the guy throwing it and flying away gracefully, it's almost always in slow motion, which tells you something like in real life it's not going to be quite that nice looking.
The plane goes to 70% of its throttle, so you can fly it like a regular plane. But press the boost button and you give the plane that extra kick that transforms it into a flying monster. A small flying monster. Powerup's Bluetooth module easily charges through its micro USB port, and the entire thing is made of carbon fiber and nylon, so it's nearly indestructible. Dart invites.
So, actually, yeah, like they're really telling you pretty much everything you need to know. What it's made of, how it works, battery life, etc., etc.
You to make many planes in many shapes, because every plane brings with it.
You can make different airplanes. So basically, the paper part is,
for air.
Replaceable.
Try 5, 10, 50 planes, then fly them all together. Make a real show, arrange dogfights, break every barrier previously set by less incredible planes. And this little bugger is so cool, it can even fly around the office.
That one, I would be careful of, but I guess
smartphone control paper
possible.
Airplane. You have lived. Powerup Dart is ready for production. So if you want to fly aerobatics with the most incredible of all
so the reason I'm basically playing the whole video is because the video really is well
incredible
done.
Planes, back Powerup Dart and start flying.
And so in the description they give basically the same details. One thing is they were promising delivery by Christmas, and they talk about their track record, because I think this is, like they said in the video, the 3rd or 4th one. Actually, they apparently, by the comments, they did get it, or in the updates, I guess, they did get it out the door. I know there are several backers who were disappointed by not receiving your rewards before the holidays. So, in fact, they did apparently ship them out before Christmas, despite some delays. Somewhere between the 7th and the 20th, I guess, they sent them out. But some people, obviously people overseas and whatnot, did not get them in time. And here, at least one guy, friend of theirs probably, 3rd-time backer, so he got it first, I guess. So, especially in a project this big, getting all of them delivered by Christmas, by any date, is a pretty big ask, and I could actually pretty understand why they couldn't make it. Apparently, if anyone got it before Christmas, actually I would be kind of impressed. But you have people months later who still haven't got theirs. But I want to talk about that too, because in the comments section you get a lot of people whining like, I haven't received my goods yet, I haven't received my Powerup, and this is kind of self-selecting. So basically, the people who received it, very few of them are going to go in and leave a comment saying, I got it today, thanks. the people who were going to come here and be the squeaky wheels are the ones who didn't get it here. I never received it, or never revived it, and it's been 4 months, etc., etc. And a lot of these guys, I should tell you, if you look into it closer, this guy never revived it either. Well, that's kind of suspicious. Maybe they're all just copying and pasting. Or this guy has 2 different IDs. But anyway, if you look into it, a lot of the cases are, they have some edge case, like they didn't fill in the forms correctly, or they live in a country that has kind of difficult customs or whatever. This guy says mine is stuck in customs, who say they cannot and will not release it because it's against regulations, irrespective of my reply that they are wrong. So because it's a drone, hypothetically, even though it's way small, even though it's a paper airplane, so it's not really fair to blame people based on this. Like, so this guy who says, like, for every positive comment there are 50 negative comments, that's not really indicative of the satisfaction ratio. Obviously you want zero negative comments, but where do people go if they didn't receive it? This is basically the main place. So if you're mailing out 24,000 plus and you get 50 people who said mine is delayed, or I haven't got it yet, or I'm having customs problems, that's actually pretty good. That's like whatever, 99%, 98% success. What is that, like 26,000? 24,000, 2,400 would be 10%, 240 would be 1%, so it's like less than, it's 99 point something, 75% success ratio if you just look at the total volume of comments. Of course, a lot of people who haven't got theirs haven't left a comment either, but do note that the guy himself, or at least whoever's writing his name, is actually answering quite frequently on a not daily basis, but every few days. So you can't really complain about that. At least there's not like they're ignoring you. And there was one really funny one. Some people have definitely some problems with the app and connecting to it. So it's not to say this is a perfect project. There was one guy. Let me see if he's here. Yeah, this one was probably my favorite. And if you want to talk about positive comments, finally got this today after waiting 3 months for the weather to improve. Kid flew it straight into the top of an old tree in the park where it still sits now. Total 45 seconds flying time. 45 sweet seconds though. So yeah, at least that's a pretty positive one. The guy actually made the effort to write it in. Some other ones not so. This is basically the same dude over and over again. So you get some negative people leaving multiple comments. There's a lot of other reasons behind that, not necessarily the product's fault. So anyway, let's look at a little bit more detail on this thing. The pricing is because the early birds and all that are gone, and this is the regular version. They're charging $37, which is not cheap. I would say for the amount of electronics in there, like this thing could easily be, it would probably cost $5 to make, including the pack and all that stuff, the other stuff they give you, the extra paper, yada yada yada. Okay, $10 price tag would still be not too bad. Okay, maybe charge $15, you make a nice 50% profit. $37 does seem a little bit steep, but then again, they had to develop the app, they had to do a lot of stuff, and it's clearly something unique, so maybe $37 is not so bad if it really works. And so yeah, they have 4 packs, whatever. You can get the price down if you buy them here. They're only $30 each, or you get 8 for $220. That's even better, right? So the question is, does it really work? Are those people whining about it not working correct or not? So what I checked was actually, I just Googled, and first of all, you can also buy these things through their store. So, I don't know if this case, these are pre-orders and you buy it now. Maybe this one is expired. but it looks like actually you can still buy the same thing through their online store, or you can buy their other stuff. This is poweruptoys.com is their official site. You can buy the other versions. So this is the one with the camera on it, which is actually a bigger, it's like an A3 size paper, and they've got all their other stuff here too. So you can actually check all these things out. This is the one with the camera. It's actually a lot more expensive. This is the dual one, so $50 each for the Powerup 3.0, which I guess is not the same as the Dart. I don't know. So anyhow, I actually found a review, and this is a kid, and I actually ended up watching like 10 of his videos. He's, I don't know, whatever, like 13 or something, lives in Singapore, and his dad and him spent the afternoon trying to get this thing to fly.
Good afternoon, welcome back to
He's like a mini Casey Neistat, actually.
another video. So today, in this video, I will be doing a review of the Powerup Dart 3.
So this is the Ninja Katato, and this was from January, so he must have got the first batch that came around Christmas.
3.0, is it? I think that's the name of the app. Hold on, let me connect this to my phone first, then I'm gonna show you how it all works. Right.
Boom! So literally it flew straight into the little overhang thing over the park bench and crashed. But the cool thing is he picks it up.
Not too high, but just slightly.
Alright.
His dad's helping him adjust the flaps, and then now the dad's doing it. Dad's got a super watch tan. And so literally they spend the next 12 minutes flying this thing around. And first of all, flying it here, really bad idea. They end up getting stuck in a bunch of trees. And they spend, I don't know, however long trying to get out of the trees. And my internet connection sucks today. But long story short, there it is up in the tree. They finally go out to an open field and get the thing to fly. And they do bring up some bugs in the app, I guess. So the app, sometimes the rudder stops working, battery display's not so good. You know, it drops precipitously all of a sudden after staying at 60% for like way too long. So anyway, they give a pretty good run through of it, and because they show them trying to fly it so many times, like clearly this thing is really temperamental. But if you're actually looking for an acrobatic airplane, it's supposed to be kind of unstable, right, in order to do all those flips, so you're kind of asking for it. But they do get it to fly, and I would say to me the value of this is, don't think of it as a drone, don't think of it as a, you know, even an RC plane, but think of it as like an educational toy. So the real value in this one, well, it's not totally not playing. The real value in this one is the fact that
Right, the battery life.
here you go. Yeah, he's talking about the battery life. The real value in this is it's a thing that you and your dad or you and your other friends, if you're like kind of a semi-nerdy 12-year-old boy, which all of us were who were boys at one point in time, or girl, you know, you want to do some kind of DIY thing. You know, we used to make paper airplanes and throw them. This is the same but way cooler. Now it's high tech. You know, if they could put a camera on this thing, I'd be really impressed. That would be pretty cool. But the fact that they
Sometimes you have to
work,
disconnect it and connect it again. But the battery life is okay. Alright, so let's do it again.
let's see, successful flying. Oh.
He glides well, actually.
So, you know, it's one of those things that's going to take you time to learn. I think there's some of the guys, they mentioned in the comments, like, oh, I used it a couple times, didn't fly, and I threw it away. Like, you know, you wasted money, and you waited several months, and then you just spent 10 minutes actually trying it. Whereas clearly, like, with these guys over the course of, even just within one charge, they got a lot better at flying it once they figured out where to go and how to do it. So anyhow, I would say $25 if it was still early bird, totally worth it. $37, if you can afford it, you want to do something like, I would do this just to spend time with my kid. if nothing else. So in that respect, pretty cool, not so bad. One other thing, I forgot to mention, it uses Bluetooth instead of Wi-Fi to communicate with your phone. So obviously for battery purposes that's better, but the range should be somewhat limited. They said up to 200 feet, which I would be impressed if it did that far. But normally that's fine if it's like a small helicopter drone. But because this thing is zooming around, actually pretty easy to go 200 feet away, I think. So just be aware of that limitation as well. Okay, so I've talked way too long on this one. Let's just say pretty cool. Of all the things I've reviewed, definitely one of the best videos, and one of the things I think I actually personally would like to try the most. And because it's in demand, it's not crowdfunding, so basically you know that it's done and can be shipped right away. So all that waiting and risk taking is pretty much non-existent, pretty much. Nothing's guaranteed, right? Anyway, that's it for today. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at GoKickMe, and thumbs up. And also gokickmedia.com to sign up for our newsletter. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.